So, let's state the obvious. The Indiana Fever have had one of their best seasons and made the playoffs for the first time in 8 years with a 2020 record with the help of a point guard, but you know who it is. The Indiana Fever have had a lot of quality wins this season, especially with the addition of Caitlin Clark, who, as everyone knows, was a dominant force at Iowa. The Fever, although not their best season, have had a better season that is trending upwards in the right direction. Now let's take a look at their top 7 best games from the 2024 regular season. At number 7, we have their win against the Phoenix Mercury on July 12th, and this was a big win for the Fever as they had barely won games by double digits, but they would almost crack a 10-point margin of victory, winning by 95 to 86 this game. This was a really solid win for the Fever because the Mercury were one of the better teams in the league at this point in the season, and they did a good job of disassembling them. Caitlin Clark would make some history for herself that night, as she would record a 5th double-double in a row with 20 points and 13 assists. Her assists in this game would tie the franchise record for most assists in one game by a Fever player. Kelsey Mitchell would have a great night herself, scoring 28 points. It would get scary at one point in the game because Indiana had a 31-point lead in the third quarter, but the Mercury would go on to score 17 in a row. But the Fever would stop their comeback. Aaliyah Cooper had an impressive 36 points for the Mercury. At number 6, we have their win against the Atlanta Dream on June 13th. This would spark them on a 4-game win streak that would help get their season going in the right direction after losing the first 4 games. The Fever would win this game 91-84. The team was led by forward Aaliyah Boston with 27 points, and Kelsey Mitchell would have 24, and Clark would struggle for most of this game with only 7 points. But even though Clark struggled, that was too much for the Dream to handle. Ryan Howard would lead the way for the Dream with 26 points, but it was still not enough. A solid win for the Fever. At number 5, we have another key win against the Atlanta Dream on August 26th. This would help them start a 5-game win streak to help their chances of giving them a playoff berth, and this would be their longest win streak of the regular season. The Fever would take this in another close game, winning 84-79. Kelsey Mitchell would lead the way with 29 points and 7 rebounds, and would be backed with strong performances from both Caitlin Clark with 19 points, who had 7 assists and 7 rebounds also, and Aaliyah Boston, who had 14 points and 11 rebounds. Indiana would lead 52-38 at halftime, but that lead was cut into, but it still wasn't enough for a comeback. Tina Charles would lead the way for the Dream with 28 points and 8 rebounds. At number 4, we have when they beat the Seattle Storm by 17 points on August 18, 92-75. This would be their second biggest win of the year and was impressive considering how well the Storm have done this year, and this would help keep their positive momentum going for the rest of the season. This would be a big game for the guards on Indiana considering Aaliyah Boston was quiet on the boards. Mitchell would have 27 points and Clark had 23 points, and this would be a big game for Clark as she had 9 assists and would break the record for most assists by a rookie in the regular season. A big success for her that would add to a pile of other accomplishments for her this year. Jewel Lloyd would lead the way for the Storm with 26 points. At number 3, we have when they beat the Chicago Sky on August 30th, 181. This one was a sweet win since it was over Caitlin Clark's rival Angel Reese from LSU, and this would be their most dominant win of the season by 19 points. And if you didn't think Caitlin was hyped for this game, you'd be wrong. She ended up with a great double-double at 31 points and 12 assists. And Kelsey Mitchell had a strong showing with 23 points. Nalissa Smith would follow up with 14 points and 7 rebounds. Many of the Sky players would have good offensive outings, but there was not a lot of defense on their end. Michaela Onyenware would lead the way with 20 points, and Lindsay Allen would end up with 19 points. Angel Reese would have a quiet double-double this game with 10 points and 11 rebounds. At number 2, we have their win against the Washington Mystics on June 7th, where the Fever won 85-83 over the Mystics, but even though they only won the game by 2, the Fever shot the ball insanely well, hitting a team record 16 threes in one game, and Clark tied the season record for most threes in a game, hitting 7 in the game and 30 points altogether. She tied the record for most threes in a game by a rookie that had not happened since 1999. She would also add 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals. Kelsey Mitchell would back her up with a solid performance of 16 points. Stephanie Dolson would lead the way for Washington with 19 points. This game was a big one as it had the largest attendance in a WNBA game since 2007, with 2,333 fans in the audience. You know, Clark is onto something special when both these teams are having a below mediocre start to the season, but still bring in this massive crowd. At number 1 for their top win of the season would be when they beat the Dallas Wings 110-109. This was a special game as they would go on to win by 1, but this was a special game for Caitlin Clark as she would set her career record in a game, scoring 35 points and 8 assists, and broke the record for most points set by a rookie that was previously held at 744 points. She would end the game at 761 points and would end the season with 769 points. Caitlin has broken so many records this season, it's insane how well she has done. And her record of 769 points isn't just the most by a rookie, but also the most by a WNBA point guard in history. She has also broken the record for most three-point field goals made by a rookie in a single season, and the most assists by a rookie in a single season as well. She is dominating in every category. Her strong play has helped the Indiana Fever reach the playoffs for the first time since 2016, and they were able to clinch a number 6 seed. This has been a special season for the Fever, but you have to feel it could just be the beginning of a good run for this team, considering the talent that they have with Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark as guards, and then to have Aaliyah Boston down low is a solid combination. It will be fun to watch to see how well they can perform in the regular season and playoffs in the next few years to come, and to see how good Clark can become. And who knows, maybe they can win a WNBA title one day. Well guys, did we get it right? Did we rank these games in the order you were expecting? And which game do you think was Caitlin Clark's best game during the regular season? Let us know your thought down in the comments, and tune in for more basketball content if you enjoyed this video. See you next time.